Hello and welcome back to Vinralandia, the land of just, I don't even know, ridiculous things all around. Previously, we've been working on Whitsville because it is our newest metropolitan center. And look at it, it is growing up quite nicely right across from its rival, the dirty, the dastardly, the Branberg. Now, as I recall, yes, we did get another tile last time we were playing, because we got to the 50,000 mark, and I'm pretty sure that's what got us the tile. The big question is, where do we expand from here? I'm thinking, and by I'm thinking I mean I'm going to execute this thought, we're going to get this tile. This tile will allow Whitsville to potentially expand to its fullest. Thank you, owned tile. We have more tiles? What? I don't need any more tiles. What are you talking about? Shut up, system. I don't want your other tile. You're just tempting me and making a terrible decision. Thank you. Okay. So the thought behind this is Whitsville, ultimately, probably going to fit it in between this railway track, this highway, and this highway. So, of course, we need the full tile. So let's see what we need to do. Currently we have decent residential demand, which I believe we don't have residential up here. These are going to be some residential sectors here, so that'll deal with that. But we also have very high commercial demand. And of course, Whitsville doesn't have nearly enough places to sell their whoopee cushions, which are scientifically proven to create the largest amount of sound when you sit on them. Lots of research has gone into this. So we're just going to build ourselves as soon as I get control of this camera, which is hard because I'm not generally very good with cameras. At least in games, they don't really enjoy me. Now I'm thinking it's going to be dumb to actually make this connect up to the roadway at this point. So we're going to make that ridiculous street. And we're going to cut it through here. And this shall be even more places to purchase ridiculous things like, I don't know, cans of worms. Cans of snakes. Cans of snakes, not worms. Also just legitimate peanut brittle. Except nobody buys the legitimate peanut brittle because this being Whitsville, they don't believe that it's actually legitimate peanut brittle, but really, there are peanut brittle salesmen in Whitsville who just can't run their business anymore. Because nobody in Whitsville believes that the peanut brittle is actually peanut brittle. It's collapsed the entire peanut brittle economy at this point. It's bad. Here we go. We of course cannot violate the curve. If we were to violate the curve, ooh, that would be it. Whitsville is usually a very happy place, I've got to say. But in the instance of violation of the curve, they would not, let's just say, I wouldn't wake up ever again. Because Whitsville knows who designs the roads. It's me, of course. I design the roads. I mean, it's obviously not someone who knows what they're doing, because if someone knew what they were doing, they wouldn't do that. That's silly. That's ridiculous. But I like it, you know? It's not the worst thing that's ever happened. There are at least 12 things that have ever happened in the history of pretty much the entirety of society and culture as a whole that have been worse than this. One of which is the creation of the Teletubbies, but we don't talk about that. We don't talk about it at all. We just keep it on the down low, and we pretend it never happened, okay? It's for the best. My goodness, there's like a mirror image of the curve right here. It's like the counter curve. One's concave and one is convex. And there's a great argument within Whitsville as to whether or not this curve is concave or this one is. It's heated debate. All of the people who believe that, of course, the great curve is convex are being ruthlessly pranked by the people who believe that the false curve is in fact convex. It's the greatest point of contention in Whitsville. The first time since they split from Bramberg that they cannot agree fully on an idea. It's hurt them greatly as a society, as a people, and as family. It's torn them apart. Just the other day, I watched a family on the street. They were on the sidewalk, having an ice cream cone. But their child said, "Look, Daddy, look, it's the great concave curve. It's the great concave curve." And you know what the father did? He just slapped the ice cream cone out of the child's hands and he said, "You're not my son." And the child was like, "No, Dad. Why, Dad? Why?" And his dad was like, "No, you can't say such things about the great curve. Be gone, child." And so the child left his family, and of course, as all orphaned children do, I guess that's close enough to being orphaned to be accepted at that point. But pretty much like all orphan children do, he ended up in Bat-Town, and he has become his own form of Batman. So while you might think that that was a really sad story, in the end, he did become Batman. So, I mean, it's not all bad. Although he can't ever talk to his family again, and his family actually isn't dead in this case. Yeah, it gets dark around here. I mean, it is like eternally day, but still, it's a very dark place. Look at this stupid road system. It's just dumb. It's just stupid. I mean, there's nothing even remotely intelligent about what occurred in this particular area. I mean, if we were to give the control of the city over to, say, a pack of sentient ferrets, and that pack of sentient ferrets were to design these roads, I'm pretty sure that said pack of sentient ferrets would in fact do a much better job at designing these roads than I have done here, because this is a really poorly designed little section here. Look at this stupid little intersection. This little thing coming out. What's even going on here? What were the people who were making the roads thinking when they put this down? They must have been like, "Oh, it's him again, isn't it? It's the mayor." Why do they give the mayor the ability to design these roads? And his workers, and the people around him, all of the workers are just like, of course, I don't know. Apparently, the people in pretty much all of this city just hate efficient road systems. And that might just be the case. They might have a thing against efficiency. Well, of course not Bramberg, because Bramberg loves efficiency. Everything has to be perfectly efficient for Bramberg, because efficiency is normalcy. And normalcy is the true way of Bramberg. So, this is intriguing. This is the first legitimate residential sector that has had... Oh, I'm so bad at drawing straight lines! Okay, as I was saying, this is the first residential sector that actually has rails running through it. Perchance, perhaps, there shall be legitimate commuter rail systems. On the other hand, we could completely forget about that and instead just put pennies on the railway tracks and just smush them, and potentially occasionally derail a train. Which really is just uncovering the bad design of the trains themselves, because if your train can be derailed by just a penny on the track, I think you really need to rethink the design of your trains at that point, because that's not very much on the track. That's like a pebble. And if you can be derailed by pebbles, I mean, what's to say that you can't be derailed by a ladybug? And if you can be derailed by ladybugs, that's society is done. All of society will break down at that point. And you know whose fault it will be? It will be the fault of the designer of that particular train for just not even thinking. Just being like, no, dude, it's good, it's fine. This is exactly what I want it to be. And then he doesn't realize he destroyed everything. Oh, look at this stupid road system. Love it. Love it. If you don't have a few dumb roads in your city, it's gotta be said, you're not doing it right. You're just not doing it right. Oh, that's really bad, though. What's really bad? Oh, I'm sick. I can't take it. It's so bad. I look at it, and all I can think of is death. Because death is what I want when I view that road. And I can't imagine that the people... Oh, no, that's what I wanted. Oh, look at that. Gorgeous. Of course, not as gorgeous as the curve. Don't even go there. Because you're risking your life. Literally risking your life if you go there. There are a lot of people who would not be happy about you saying that. Do we have good crematorium coverage? We don't. You know that gorgeous curve? Going to be home to a crematorium. Perhaps it can be home to simply a crematorium. Wouldn't that be interesting? The little curve filled entirely with a crematorium. Maybe we should put the old folks' home right next to it. Wouldn't that be nice? Then they wouldn't have to go so far in order to, be off. Whoa, wait. I think I just implied that they off old people at crematoriums, and pretty sure that's not what a crematorium is for. I think it's for dealing with them once they're off, but I guess that's an investigation that Batman will have to do himself. Oh, look. It's the terrible design. Yeah, that's it. It's just the terrible design just coming into effect. This is the thinking voice. I'm having a thought here. Perhaps we don't even... I think there's a better way to do this. What if we, instead of being dumb and have them merge into each other, which is dumb, which I have to say, I'm sorry, it's not we being dumb, it's just me being dumb, because, of course, you really don't have any say in what I'm doing right now. Of course, once this is over, and if you decide to yell at me for what I've done, then of course you have some say in it there. But, for now, it's just like, I'm just a freelance agent running around doing what I do. And what I do is not very efficient. It gets the job done, kind of. There we go. You know what we'll do? We'll upgrade that 6-lane road into a one-way 6-lane road. And with any hope, that 1-lane 6-lane road will actually... Nope. I was going to say with any hope it'll face the right direction, but it didn't. It just didn't. I really don't like the one-way upgrade tool. I don't know how I'm using it wrong. I'm clearly using it incorrectly somehow. If you do know and you want to key me in, that would be brilliant, because that would help so much. But, I don't know. I think it just hates me. And I'm oddly content to believe that it hates me. Okay, so what this is going to do now is prevent the merging situation that I created here because I was lazy. And now traffic will be able to flow more freely directly into the city. Trust me, it'll work. Don't believe me? You probably have good reason to not believe me. There's a lot more evidence to state that it won't work than it will. But I can assure you, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. We'll get through this together, my friends. There we go. Okay, how is education in ye old Whitsville? Not particularly good. Where can we put this elementary school? We can't put it in this curve, because if we put it in that curve, it will be right next to a crematorium. And that's just not the message that we want to send to the children of Whitsville. Well, it's not the message that most of us want to send to the children of Whitsville. There are a few that are all about that, and apparently Goatsville doesn't have good coverage. I'm just looking for uncovered places to throw down elementary schools, because we need more. Because look at that availability, it's no good at all. We're going to need quite a few more elementary schools. We'll just put one in Cultopia. This particular elementary school is going to be filled with just goat's blood everywhere. Literally, the walkways are going to be flowing with goat's blood. Oh, look at Bat Town! All of the orphaned children of Bat Town just don't have a place to go and learn about what it is to be an orphaned child. Or, on the more morbid side, potentially learn about what it is to not be an orphaned child. And then they'll be all like, oh, so that's what I'm missing out on? And everyone will be like, yeah. And that'll turn them to a life of crime. And that's how they get the people to actually fight all of the Batmen, because someone has to do it. It's very important that somebody does it. And, of course, someone has to turn them. It's the only way. Here we go. Look at this. There's a nice little circle. I'm going to put a high school there. College availability is still perfectly fine for now. Look at that. The University Circle of Spherity has remained in full operation and is working quite well so far. Brilliant, brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant. How has that changed our city? Has it changed it for the better? Electric availability is good. Water availability is teetering on the edge. You know what I can't have? Teetering water availability. Where in the heck are our water pumps? Over by Cultopia. You know, in hindsight, maybe it's not the best idea to have given the entire control of the water system over to the cult. I mean, thinking about it now, they could very easily just abuse that system so terribly. I mean, that would be... Who knows what they're putting in that water? They could be putting, like... What could they be putting in there? I imagine, like, just copious amounts of goat's blood, but only sending that particular water to Goatsville. Just part of the feud. That's just how it works. Oh, look at that. Everything's all hooked up now. How nice. What do you mean those aren't connected up to the system? I thought I connected those up to the system. Let's see. Oh no. We've got the classic issue of water pumps just off of the pipes. It's not a very common issue, I would imagine, but I feel like it's a classic issue. I feel like we need to accept it into classical culture as an issue for the ages that has existed forever and will always exist as a potential terrible thing that could occur at any moment. Okay, this system is also all set up, so we can just take out these entire power lines because they're completely useless, and I assume there's some sort of maintenance cost on them. Just an assumption. Ah, look at that. No more power lines there. Oh, nice. There's still copious amounts of room for Cultopia to expand. In this area, I probably shouldn't be waving the bulldozing tool around. Just thinking about it. There's still copious amounts of room in here for Cultopia to expand. a little out to here, but we can't get them too close to Filth Corner. I mean, there has to be some division between the actual people and the piles of goat bodies, which, of course, Goatsburg sits outside of the garbage landfills, like, day in and day out, just protesting the fact that those landfills are completely filled with goat bodies. And really nothing else. Maybe a couple tin cans, but that was actually added by the Goatsville protesters as they opened their vegan canned organic froyo. It's a strange food. Not so much because it's organic or vegan, but more because it is, in fact, canned frozen yogurt. Strange. The people of Goatsville, I gotta say, they fight for a good cause. Well, they fight for a cause. I can't actually make any statement as to whether or not it's a good cause or not, because I have to be impartial as mayor of this city. It is very important that I remain impartial to all of the plights of all of the different districts of Cultopia, Goatsburg, of Vinralandia in general. Or else, who knows what would happen? Probably chaos. I assume at that point, Cultopia would just summon the Dark Lord and bring his wrath down upon the entirety of Vinralandia because they felt underrepresented. And really, that's no way to respond to feeling underrepresented, but if they insist, I mean, so be it. So be it. How it's going to work. Okay. We still have very little demand. I think the demand is just rising and falling as Whitsville is expanding. We've got a nice circular. Circular? No, it's just a curved road. Just a nice curved road coming up here, right up past the high school. Whitsville is about to look very, very strange. I mean, it looked kind of normal before. It's of course got this crazy little section that just breaks up the monotony of all the office work. But now it's looking really, really weird. They just had to get some foundation for Whitsville before they really went for it and really got artsy out here. Well, that brings us to the end of the episode. Look. I forgot about this place. You know that I forgot about this place. I said it's the end of the episode, but I have to destroy some abandoned buildings out in, whatever this place is called. We never named it, and I'm not going to name it right now. But, yes, that brings us to the end. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe. Of course, Whitsville will continue to expand in the future as more people from Bramberg feel the need to escape the iron clutches of the offices of conformity. And, I mean, if they actually make it across the river, which there's like a 5% rate of people actually making it across the river, which is actually pretty impressive that these two cities actually exist if there's only a 5% rate. We've got a lot of immigrants, like, all the time. But regardless, it will expand in the future. If for nothing else than to spite Bramberg. So yeah, thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.